Mia, and she introduced herself to the jury here by saying that Sean Combs had sexually assaulted her.
She testified that she was a rape victim.
The first time she met Combs, she said he was in his
What happens when a celebrity's name carries enough weight to allegedly halt police action entirely? In this intense courtroom drama, Diddy isn't just facing rape accusations, he's also being linked to troubling claims of having sway within law enforcement. Stay with us as we dive into jaw-dropping testimony from a former aide whose words brought the entire courtroom to a standstill.
No idea how it's possible, and I'm sure Mia is probably panicking in this moment in time. Like, are people stalking her on the internet, trying to figure out her identity? She testified that she was a rape victim, essentially. There's rape shield laws that exist to try to protect people in her position. And so this is really getting very nerve-wracking probably for her, and just absurd for the courtroom.
Yeah, this testimony today was from a woman who was testifying as under the name Mia. The judge said this is a pseudonym and that no one was to record her. She was, they wanted to keep her anonymity. It was the deal with the prosecution. But she was talking about, she is a former assistant of Diddy's, and talked about a 2010 incident where Diddy and Cassie found out that Prince was having this private house party. Diddy didn't want to go. He was staying home and said that Cassie should not go. But Cassie was at home with Mia, and they talked about it and decided they were going to go. So they went to the party. She says they were having a great time watching Prince perform on a dining room table. And then suddenly she saw Diddy walk in and was terrified. And she grabbed Cassie, and she said they ran out of the party. They ran across the street. They are hiding in a wooded area behind some bushes. But Diddy found them and grabbed Cassie, she said, and started to assault her, when suddenly one of Prince's security guards ran over there and had to pull Diddy off of Cassie, separate them, and that was the end of the violence for that particular evening. But the way she described it on the stand, it really sounded like a movie playing out, and you could really see, envision what was happening that night in 2010.
Who was the woman referred to as Mia? And why did her courtroom account make such an impact? Shielded by an alias for protection, Mia served as Diddy's assistant for 8 years, a period she claimed was anything but routine. For nearly a decade, she lived inside one of the most fast-paced and high-profile worlds imaginable. But beneath the glitz, she said, was something far more sinister. Mia told the court that the role didn't just demand a lot, it took over her life. According to her, every part of her existence was tied to his. Her job stretched well beyond managing calendars or booking flights. She said she was expected to safeguard his image no matter the cost, a role that sometimes meant lying, silencing people, or covering up actions that left her emotionally shaken. She described explosive fits of rage from Diddy, directed at those in his inner circle. As she spoke, the tension inside the courtroom was unmistakable. This wasn't just a tale about a controlling boss. It was a window into a world driven by fear. Mia's use of the word control repeatedly stood out. One especially disturbing incident involved Diddy allegedly scolding her for speaking too long to someone at a party, followed by a verbal outburst so fierce she said she still shakes remembering it. According to Mia, privacy didn't exist while she was employed by him. Diddy, she claimed, would call or track her unexpectedly, even during personal time, as a way of maintaining his grip. Experts say such patterns often prevent victims from reporting abuse or pushing back. Mia's testimony illustrated how hard it is to challenge authority when it's wielded by someone as powerful as Diddy. Speaking out against a figure that famous isn't easy, and the courtroom felt the courage behind her words as she became visibly emotional, recalling the internal toll. Many wouldn't have risked it, especially when going up against one of the music world's biggest names. That courage lent her story weight. Silence filled the room, interrupted only by the occasional shocked whisper. But it wasn't until Mia revealed what had happened to her personally that the gravity of her testimony fully landed. As she transitioned from witness to survivor, the air in the room seemed to thicken. Everyone braced for what came next.
Mia, and she introduced herself to the jury here by saying that Sean Combs had sexually assaulted her. She hasn't testified about it yet. Instead, she's talking about times she said she witnessed violence against Cassie Ventura, the time she said Combs slammed her head against a bed and drew blood and left a gash in Cassie Ventura's eyebrow, the time they attended a party against Combs's wishes at Prince's house when they danced on plexiglass covering the pool. Prince performed, but then Combs arrived, chased them down, and was about to attack Cassie when she said Prince's security intervened. She also, this woman Mia, gave the jury a sense of what it was like to be his personal assistant.
What I find more troubling and less likely is if this video is being sent by random people on the internet, and that's what they want to proffer as evidence in this criminal trial, I find that hard to be admitted. If they could track the video from one person who could confirm the identity of the person, and then it can be used for impeachment evidence, that's different. But random people on the internet sending videos, that opens the door to a can of worms.
Well, I mean, Tyler, they would have to authenticate it, make sure it's real, and couldn't they theoretically be able to use it?
They could theoretically be able to use it, but it seems like they're trying to use it right now when Mia's going to get put back on the stand. I haven't heard of any witness to authenticate this video yet. They're just talking about displaying this video. That's what seems to be a little odd to me.
The first time she met Combs, she said he was in his underwear. And then the first day on the job, she said she didn't sleep because she was made to go to his house, to his recording studio, to an apartment. She also said that she worked sometimes 5 days in a row without sleep and was made to do everything from anticipating his moods to cracking his knuckles to doing his taxes to standing there 22 hours a day doing nothing.
The moment
When Mia began recounting her own experience, the entire mood shifted. Her voice quivered as she described the most painful moment of her time working under Diddy, an alleged sexual assault that she said took place in private. She claimed the lead-up was calculated, an environment built on pressure and isolation. That night, Mia said, she was called to his quarters under the pretext of urgent work. What followed, she said, was a traumatic experience she'd hidden for years. The courtroom fell into a hush. Mia testified that Diddy's demeanor was intimidating, giving her no room to say no. Every instinct told her to flee, but the power, imbalance, she claimed, paralyzed her. As she described the alleged assault, jurors shifted in their seats. Some took notes quietly, while others looked visibly disturbed. The prosecution didn't water down her words. Instead, they allowed her unfiltered account to echo through the room. She painted a stark picture, one dominated by fear, pressure, and an overwhelming sense of control. Observers were moved. One woman in the gallery was seen wiping away tears. Diddy sat frozen, rarely making eye contact, his focus drifting toward the floor or occasionally to his legal team. The illusion of celebrity strength was cracking. Trauma experts note how difficult it is for victims to relive such moments, especially under public scrutiny. Yet Mia pressed on. Her voice, while emotional, grew more resolved as she continued. Prosecutors linked her experience to what they alleged was a broader pattern, an ongoing misuse of fame and power. Mia's story, they argued, wasn't an exception. It was part of a system. One especially haunting moment came when Mia said that the next day, Diddy acted like nothing had happened. That, she said, made the experience even more painful. The courtroom sat still, the silence stretching long after her words. Meanwhile, Diddy's composure began to falter. Observers noted his tightening jaw, his blinking more frequent, signs of strain beginning to show. But Mia's revelations weren't finished. She began hinting at incidents she said involved others. Next, she would speak about what she claimed to have seen happen to Cassie Ventura, and with that, the unease in the courtroom deepened.
I don't think so. I think that would be like the best appeal point ever on the side of the defense. I think the case gets overturned because you're violating the confrontation clause. You know, you're taking away Diddy's right to confront his accuser, especially because she's already given all of the testimony that was apparently positive for the prosecution, and then cutting her off before even one question could be asked by or maybe not one, but you know, the full cross-examination be completed. I think it gets overturned.
What do you think the judge is going to do here? I mean, do you think the judge is first of all, can the judge order an investigation into this? And also, Tyler, do you think the judge is going to allow this piece of evidence in? If we're reading this correctly through the transcript, that this is a situation where she might be faking the way she's speaking on the stand, feels like relevant evidence for cross-examination, but at the same time, the way they're getting it and the issue of her identity being revealed, A, can the judge order some sort of investigation here? And B, you think he's going to allow this video in?
Well, it's probably 3 o'clock right now, or close to 2 o'clock. If I was the judge, which I'm not, I think this would be a good time to let's see what this video looks like. Let's see what the testimony would be given, what examination questions will be asked by the defense. Let's break for the day, and he'll make his ruling and start on Monday fresh, whether this video is going to be allowed in or not allowed in. I think that would be a good way for the court to explore, you know, the potential pitfalls here, see how the defense is going to authenticate this video. Now, regarding any additional protections for Mia, I think that the court and the parties involved in this case have appeared to do everything possible to protect her identity. But the fact of the matter is, this is a high-profile case. People are watching this all across the country. And if you were to think that she would be on the stand giving facts about pictures with Cassie and being in South Africa, that people weren't looking on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, anywhere else on social media to try to put two and two together, that's hard to believe. So I'm not shocked that people have identified her, because I'm pretty sure people are on their phones right now trying to look into it. Yeah, they're not going to allow the video in. They were saying that there's been substantial social media posts already admitted into evidence showing that Mia has been in communications and contact with Mr. Combs, and that she said things like, "I love you, you're a mentor," and things of that nature. But it sounds like this video, the defense believes this is going to be some strong evidence. I'm pretty sure they're going to want their objections noted for the record. So this could be an issue on appeal if this is highly prejudicial for Mr. Combs' case.
Well, Serena, I mean, it seems like they're saying we're using it for a different purpose. We're not trying to suggest, hey, she's making up the story because look at, positive posts she's making about Sean Combs. But no, this video shows she's not talking the same affect that she is on the stand. So it seems, if I'm understanding correctly, they're trying to use this video for a different kind of impeachment.
I totally agree with you. And I think, not to assume too many things, but to me, this feels like the judge saying, you know what, I'm just going to say it's cumulative because we got to keep this trial going. We have Mia on the stand who's probably falling apart. I'm not going to want to bring her back on Monday. Finish her testimony, get her off the stand. Let's keep this trial moving at the right pace. And I do agree with you. I think that the judge is just making that decision to make that decision. I don't think it's actually cumulative.
You know, it's a great question. By the way, another update in court. Brian Steele, this is Sean Combs' defense counsel, one of them. Can I ask if she sent it? Can I ask if she sent it? The judge says yes. I'm going to ask about scrapbooks. The prosecutor and I have a disagreement. I have 3 copies, one for the jurors to pass around. The honorable prosecutor and I disagree. So it looks like a separate question. Here's a great question from Michelle LaBelle. Tyler, how does the public know how she's acting in court, which is different than usual if they're not allowed in court? So that makes me think now, the only people to know how she's actually testifying and the way that she's speaking are those who are in the courtroom. Now, I'm not making any conspiracy theories here, but that's a good question, right? Why would this video be circulating? Unless of course, someone found out her identity from the outside, just was circulating the video, and defense counsel said, wait a minute. The way she's talking in this video is very different than the way she's talking on the stand. Or the more ominous conspiracy theory is that someone in the court who knew the way she was speaking starts circulating the video online. I mean, I don't want to be engaging in conspiracy theories here, but it's a great question from Michelle LaBelle, no?
Yeah, it's a great question. But one thing that Mr. Combs' defense lawyer just said is, can I ask her if she sent it? Now, if they're referencing the video that he wants to ask her if she sent it, they must know who she sent the video to.
Mia's account became even more disturbing when she shifted to what she said she witnessed between Diddy and Cassie Ventura during her time as an assistant. In public, they looked like a golden couple. But according to Mia, the truth behind the scenes was much darker. She claimed Diddy's treatment of Cassie was marked by emotional control and physical intimidation. She contrasted their glossy red carpet image with the volatile behavior she said unfolded in private. One incident she recalled involved Diddy allegedly pushing Cassie against a wall during an argument. The cause, Mia said, was trivial, an offhand comment at a social event. Yet the way it exploded shocked even her, despite years of witnessing Diddy up close. According to Mia, Cassie's reactions weren't of surprise, but of someone used to it. She described Cassie as withdrawn during these episodes, like she had learned to tolerate the treatment. Beyond physical altercations, Mia said Diddy exerted control in other ways, monitoring Cassie's calls, tracking her movements, and pressuring her to cut off friends he didn't approve of. She described how Cassie was increasingly isolated, under the excuse of focusing on their relationship and Diddy's career. Relationship experts often highlight such actions as warning signs, indicators of abuse through manipulation. Mia said watching it unfold left her deeply affected. Even after leaving the job, the guilt over staying silent lingered. That, she testified, was part of why she decided to speak up now, not just for herself, but for Cassie and others. She admitted she hadn't intervened then out of fear for her own job. But now, she said, the truth had to come out. The most chilling moment came when she said she overheard Cassie screaming behind a locked door during one of their fights. No one should ever be treated like that, she said, visibly shaken. Prosecutors emphasized this scene as part of an overarching theme, one where Diddy's control extended far beyond music or fame. As Mia spoke, the room remained still, every listener captivated. Diddy sat rigid, showing little reaction, his stillness at odds with the emotional weight of her words. Though parts of Cassie's story had already surfaced, Mia's account gave them disturbing credibility. And as her testimony closed, she linked Diddy's alleged behavior to broader institutions, including, she claimed, possible ties to the LAPD.
They said random people earlier. They may not be trying to show their whole hand here. If Mr. Combs knows Mia clearly, so he knows how she acted when she was with him versus how she's acting now. The defense has, offices, and they have associates and other people who are on the outside who could be investigating, trying to collect evidence that could be used to help Mr. Combs in real time. Now, do I think somebody there is a plant who's a reporter or something helping the defense? No, but this is a high-profile case. She's testifying. To think that there aren't people on the outside who have interest in this case, whether as associates, employees of either side of this case, would be foolish.
Got a question from Laya. This is a question for you, Serena. Did Mia get exposed?
Yeah, it's possible. And again, it's very scary if so, because everyone's trying to protect this woman and she deserves that protection and privacy. But as we've been saying, it is still a somewhat public trial. There are going to be not only people in the courtroom, but online sleuths. I mean, even the court drawing, though her face is blurred out, we can tell her race, we can tell her hair color, we can tell her stature. And, there are probably going to be people, maybe not in Diddy's inner circle, but maybe even in the second or third degree circle, who know who this woman is. And so to think that she has complete anonymity in today's day and age with, online sleuthing and just the ability to find things out about people, it's just so easy today. So I do think that someone figured out who she was.
I'll get a question from Melissa Budas. This is for you, Tyler. Didn't the previous witness, the stylist, so Deontay Nash, confirm a lot of Mia's testimony?
He confirmed a lot of her testimony, and everybody that the prosecution is calling as witness, their testimony is meant to build on each other. Think about the witnesses that led up to Kid Cudi testifying. Then you had Deontay Nash, who testified a couple days ago, and now Mia, who's testifying now. So the prosecution is not calling witnesses, and they're going to be surprised at what they say. They have an idea of what they're going to say, and they want to present this case methodically in a way they want. That's the whole point of planning for trial and presenting your case in a way that's going to be effective.